Right, as you can see, I've now painted all of the track bed where the track's going to be, and the lines that I originally drew on the board to indicate where the track goes is just about visible through the paint. I tried to get the lightest grey possible for that reason, so the lines can show through. So now we're going on to the exciting bit of actually laying some track. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start at the front. I'm going to start by laying some points. Now the points I'm using are going to be Electrofrog points, which is different points from what I was using on the TT120 layout. On the TT120 layout I was using Unifrog points, where the frog was live but it was completely isolated from everything else. But on Electrofrog points, if I just bring one up now, this bit here, which is called the frog, will have a frog wire soldered to it, which will go to the point motor, and this whole frog will be live. Now it does leave a bit of a problem, because with the frog being live, it could cause a short circuit. So from my understanding of using these points, I've never used Electrofrog points before, you have joiners called insulated rail joiners, which is in packet there, right? And basically what you do with the insulated rail joiners is you put the insulated rail joiners on the rails with the frog, so it will keep these rails isolated from the other track that joins on, so there's no short circuit, or to stop a short circuit. On the other side, where the point goes in, so basically before the frog, these can be normal, your average normal metal rail joiners, and same with the outside rails, can be normal metal rail joiners. However, if you had two Electrofrog points joining like that, for example, these two joins here would have to be insulated rail joiners, because as you can see, there would be a short circuit there and a short circuit there, so the two joiners there would have to be insulated rail joiners. But the rest of them, apart from that one has to be a insulated rail joiner, and the same as that one. But this one, the two there, that one, and the two there can all be metal rail joiners. Right, so I hope that's made some sense. So what I've done was, we're going to start with the points first, and I've kind of prepared some points already. So I'll explain to you what I've done. I've got two metal rail joiners there, and I've got two insulated rail joiners there. Got an insulated rail joiner there, and a metal one there. Insulated one on that one, with a metal one there. And then I've got an insulated one there, and a metal one there, with insulated one there, metal one there, and I haven't put any on that side yet. So where this cluster of points are going, take that one out because it was overriding. At this stage you want to make sure your track work is completely smooth so you don't get derailments and bad running. So set of points, it's going to go here like so. So we have the main track running in, this will be the station track, there'll be a side in here for slate wagons, and there'll be another side in there for slate wagons. So I'm just going to move the camera slightly. Yeah, the side in there for slate wagons, and then this one for slate wagons. Okay, so the first thing we've got to do, because we're going to be using PM1 point motors for these points. The reason why we're using PM1s is because there is a micro switch around here that when the point changes it will change the polarity of the frog as well, but I'll do a clip going more into that a little bit later on. So now at this stage we just go and make the holes in the baseboard to allow for this to be linked up to the points. Right, so I'm just going to get a pencil. I've got some pencils. So what I want to do, just want to mark out, actually work out what side the point motor is going to be going. So if I had the point motor there, it's not going to work because you've got all this bit here. So I've got to have the point motor on this side. So I've got plenty of space there and there for the point motor to be mounted. So point motor going there underneath. So what I'm going to do is first I'll mark out the exact position of the point. And what we're going to do is we're marking out position there, and the position there. I believe so. So there, and there. And we're going to mark out where the frog wire is going to be, which will be through there to link up to there. So we've got one hole there, which was when move the point that way. I've got one mark there when the point was that way, the tie bar was that way, and then I've got a mark there when the tie bar was that way. So I want to put cross there like that. So we've got a little cross there to mark where the tie bar is. Put a little cross there to mark the hole for where the frog wire is going to be. So got myself a Dremel, handy tool to have. You know, if you're going to build a model railway, always have a Dremel. Yeah, it works well for little jobs like this. Right, so I'll do now. Switch on the Dremel. Should go to it first. elongate the hole slightly. I've just got a bigger drill bit. I just want to try and elongate this hole. Just making sure there's enough movement. Movement. So now I've just got to drill halfway the frog wire will be. Okay, so now got a hole drilled for where this pole will go through the tie bar, and we'll go side to side to move the tie bar. I've got a hole there ready for the frog wire. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to pre-drill some holes for the screws from the top to the bottom. Basically the holes where the screws will go, and they'll be covered up anyway, so you won't see them, but it's just easier just doing this now than it would be trying to find it all under the board. So go back in where them pencil marks are. Like so. So flip that round. So if I'm right, which I'm not, Bear with me, folks. So when it's underneath the board, maybe like that. Right, so that's the holes drilled. Ready for the point motor, which will go underneath.